I'm not, all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks, and it all came in the form of lyrics from a 1980s pop ballad. Where have all the good men gone, and where are all the gods? Where is the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight upon a fiery steed? Late at night I toss and I turn and I dream of what I need. I need a hero. I'm holding on for a hero to the end of the night. He's got to be strong, and he's got to be fast, and he's got to be fresh for the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding on for a hero to the end of the night. He's got to be strong, and he's got to be fast, and he's got to be larger than life. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Warren. I'll close my opening monologue with this. As funny as that is, the reality is that was the word that really hit me. That was the word that really hit me. Is that he has been a hero in my life. You've been a hero in my life. So many different ways. So many different memories, Mr. Warren. I can't even tell you. In high school, I would go play football, and then I would leave practice and I would come and put on a fuchsia pink vest and dance on a stage. But in the NFL, I would go from playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars and go across the street and sing with the Indianapolis Symphony Orchestra with Sandy Patty. And that's only because of you. And that's only because of how you empowered a 9th grade boy and set him on a path to become a man. And so I wanted to just give you this definition of what a hero is. A hero is a person admired for courage, for their outstanding achievements, and for their noble qualities. And I would add that a hero is also someone with selfless character that impacts the lives of every single person around them positively every day. So based on that definition, if Mr. Warren has been a hero in your lives, would you just please stand right now? Did you see that, Mr. Warren? Every single person. So this event is for you. We're gonna get this program started. We've got some fantastic friends and family that are going to be a part of this event and really share more stories and I hope embody who Mr. Warren is to each of us and how much his legacy has impacted all of us. Let's start with Steve Alba. He's the director of choirs at Rosemount High School. He has held the position since 2000. Under his leadership, the Rosemount choirs have grown from 210 to 510 students with 13 choirs. Steve is an active member of the ACDA, serving both as vice president and president in the past years. It is through ACDA that Lynn and Steve became friends. They have worked together on many projects to improve choral music in the state of Minnesota. Steve is also an active clinician and show choir judge and has worked with Hastings show choirs on many occasions. Please welcome Steve Alba.
Thank you, Ben, so much for that introduction, and it is an honor to be here today. Did you know that I was going to be here when we were texting a couple days ago? I didn't think so. I was like, what are you doing this weekend? Surprise. I would like to thank Kathy and family for the invitation to speak today in honoring our dear friend Lynn on this wonderful occasion. I would also like to thank Lynn himself. In 2013, I was asked to give a few remarks when Lynn received the Choral Director of the Year Award through the American Choral Directors Association of Minnesota. Here we are 4 years later, and I have been asked to speak again in honor of Lynn at his retirement celebration. I am hoping to continue my incredibly rigorous public speaking engagement 4 years from now in 2021. I met Lynn Warren over 20 years ago through ACDA of Minnesota. It can be incredibly scary for a choir director to move to a new state and start a different chapter of your career. However, Lynn was one of the first Metro people I met, and he was so kind and welcoming. Those are Lynn Warren traits I know we have all witnessed at some point or another. In the choral world, I've had opportunities to come in and work with Hastings students, watch Lynn at work, judge solo and ensemble, clinic Riverside and Upstage, and judge the show choir competition Swinging on the River. In every single setting, I can always count on a few Warren-isms, some Lynn Warren philosophies that have inspired me. Today I will mention just 4. Number 1, we are in the process of educating young people, and music is our tool. Using the art and craft of choral music to change lives is something in which Lynn always has excelled. The level of technical and musical excellence achieved by singers and ensembles here at Hastings throughout the years is truly unparalleled, but it was continuously more than just musical excellence. Students were always learning about themselves, working together as a team, especially with those who are different than themselves, and about life as a whole at the same time. Number 2, there would always, and I mean always, be a level of energy and excitement in the room. Am I right, Riverside members? Yes. Whenever I have worked with a Hastings singer or singers, it would be clearly obvious Lynn had already established in his singers a passion for the work at hand. And whether it was an ensemble such as Riverside or an individual singer at solo and ensemble, the students just loved what they were doing. Number 3, just as he would ask his singers to never stop learning, to try something different, Lynn continued to seek out new ways of doing something, trying something new. I mean, let's face it, Lynn could teach all of us a few things about singing and choral music. But he would be the first to tell you that he himself needed to learn more and to be better. And number 4, the relationships Lynn developed with his singers throughout the years have been very genuine. He never has shied away from sharing with his students how he feels, and now including social media as one of his resources. Lynn has another tool to share with the world how he feels about his students and their work in achieving great successes. He has always been very proud of his students, their number 1 fan. He is a human being first and foremost, and his students always responded with the love and admiration one would expect. Throughout my career, there have been several instances of Lynn judging and working with my own students. I always knew my students were going to get a tremendous experience. In every setting, my students learned new approaches and techniques and were always affirmed for their preparation and performance. Always positive, Lynn understood the important people in the room were the students. This same philosophy he has taken with him into the real estate business, the client and his or her feelings being most important. This is where I personally, as well as Ben, although the car didn't get stuck, this is where I personally experienced his calm, understanding, and patient demeanor. as he showed me dozens and dozens of properties, always being positive and supportive. Similar to his students, he helped me to stay calm and to look forward to possibilities. As many of you know, Lynn just hasn't spent his whole focus on the program at Hastings. He has established himself as a leader in state to national levels of the American Choral Directors Association. At a state level, the Hastings program has been involved in numerous conference performances, and individuals from Hastings are always on the rosters of state honor choirs. However, Lynn didn't stop there. He was asked by national leaders to serve as assistant conference chair at national conferences in Los Angeles and Chicago. And most recently in March, I assisted Lynn on the Equipment and Facilities Committee for the national conference held here in Minneapolis. All of this work was on top of his already incredibly busy schedule here at Hastings. Even though there were some very stressful moments along the way, am I right, Kathy? Very stressful. Lynn was always the most gracious and accommodating person in charge, willing to do the work that was needed. And for a national and world choral community, really no different than what he would bring every single day to the choral department and to Hastings High School. John Quincy Adams once said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, to learn more, to do more, and to become more, you are a leader. Think about that. Your actions inspire others. Lynn, how many choral friends and colleagues from around the world who, like me, are inspired and committed to a deeper level of work because of your influence? How many teaching colleagues in the Hastings educational system have witnessed firsthand your determination to make this community and school a better place? And they in turn aspire to develop deeper communications and connections with their own students. And speaking of those students, raise your hand, students. And speaking of those students, every single day for your entire career, you have encouraged your students to step outside their comfort zone, to become a stronger individual and person, and yes, to strive toward a new and higher level of excellence. One of the things people admire most of you, Lynn, especially in this world of egocentric choral directors and musicians, is that you have always kept the students, not you, but the students as the focus of that journey. One of the hardest things in coming up with remarks for today is whether to put subject matter in past or present format. I mean, let's face it, Lynn Warren may be retiring, but Lynn Warren isn't finished making a difference in this world. As C.S. Lewis once stated, you're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. He might enjoy the thought of no more early alarms, no more IEP meetings, no more progress reports or writing assessments, am I right? Helping with student registrations or attending parent-teacher conferences. And yes, getting back the personal time he gave up for taking Hastings high vocalists to places near and far. I am guessing, however, that similar to every outstanding teacher who retires, missing the people will be at the top of your list. And probably the motivation for your next chapter. Lynn, today we celebrate you, your personal and professional accomplishments, your wonderful and supportive family, the choral program here at Hastings, and the many, many friendships you have helped create and nurture throughout your career. You have been an inspiration to so many. We salute you for all your years making a difference in the lives of your students, their families, and this community. Congratulations, Lynn.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing. Those are fantastic words. This next individual, someone that I really remember too, and he was a big part of our lives in the late 90s. Dr. Anton Armstrong is professor of music and conductor of the esteemed St. Olaf Choir and at St. Olaf College in Northfield. Dr. Armstrong is a graduate of St. Olaf College and has held that position since 1990. Lynn and Anton met in the early 1990s when Lynn had the job of picking up Anton at the airport to transfer him to an event in Twin Cities area, and they have been good friends ever since. To know that. Dr. Armstrong has done many clinics with the Hastings students over the years in Hastings High School Select Chorale, and attended Choral Day at St. Olaf College several times. In recent years, Lynn has been the accompanist for Dr. Armstrong at Carnegie Hall events in New York City. Lynn's son Luke has also had the privilege of working with Dr. Armstrong in national youth choirs and as a member of the St. Olaf Choir. Dr. Armstrong holds a dear place in the hearts of the Warren families. Let's watch a video and hear his words.
Good afternoon. I'm Anton Armstrong, conductor of the St. Olaf Choir. Hi, Lynn. Welcome to your life. Seriously, I wish I could be with you this afternoon to honor you in person. I'm in Philadelphia conducting a concert with my colleague and longtime friend Andre Thomas. But I wanted to be able to bring my own greetings and best wishes at this time as the Hastings community comes together to celebrate and give thanks for your 33 years of distinguished service as choral director at Hastings High School. You know, you've established a model of excellence at Hastings High School with the vocal program these last 33 years. Over 600 students a year now sing in the choral ensembles at Hastings High School. That is an incredible accomplishment, and one that you and your colleagues can take such great pride in. But you have been the driving force over these 33 years. You've established a national model of excellence in Riverside Company. Now, you and I have talked about show choirs, and you know sometimes my opinion of how so many of them operate. They're not always the highest thing in my expectation of musical excellence when I talk about choral ensembles. Riverside Company is different. If all show choirs could be at the artistic and musical level of excellence that you have established with Riverside Company, I might not call it the S word anymore. You've also been able to develop a program that finds a place for anyone who wants to sing at Hastings High School. Your men's chorus has been recognized several times with invitations to sing at the State Music Educators Conference, as have Select Choir and other of your ensembles. Now I need to talk about Select. The first time you invited me to come to direct Select Choir, I thought I would walk into a choral room with about 40, maybe 50 students. I was flabbergasted when I counted over 100 singers now. I saw some really thick-necked boys at that bass section. And I quickly figured out, you know, this wasn't necessarily a select choir. And you said, yes, it is. They work very hard. But I want to include as many young people who want to sing. So I'm very proud of the athletes I have in my program. Well, my friend, you taught me a new meaning to the word select. Those young people have always sung with excellence. And this past November at the St. Olaf Choral Day, I think that's maybe one of your finest select choirs that has ever appeared in public. But it's not just been in the St. Olaf Choral Days. They've been featured at Luther College Dorian Festival and also on at least 2 occasions at the State Choral Finale. You have shown and been a model of what excellence in the choral arts should be in the high school. And your singers have always moved the hearts of those who have heard them. Your musical contributions, Lynn, have gone beyond your day-to-day work at Hastings High School. Your colleagues in the American Choral Directors Association at the state, regional, and national level have called upon you so often, and you have stepped up every time you've been asked. For so many years, you served as Secretary Treasurer for the North Central Division of ACDA. You kept our finances in order. You kept discipline to crazy musicians who most likely like to spend more than we have to spend. And then when you were asked to help organize national conventions, or now as we call them national conferences, in 2005, you served as the Assistant Convention Chair for maybe one of the craziest organized conferences ever. You were part of the sanity of that organization. And then again, you stepped into that same role in 2011 when our national conference was held in Chicago. And most recently, this past March, you agreed to be the facilities chair for our national conference held here in Minneapolis. You and I both know those were not easy times, but because of the work of you and the college you listened to aid you, our conference went off in Minneapolis and Minnesota, looked like the world might be often are considering to be because of your fine organization. And on behalf of ACDA, both at a state, regional, and national level, I thank you for that service. I know it came close to sometimes causing a divorce in your family. Thank you so much for your understanding, your patience, and your support as you serve in professional organizations in that way. Lynn, also your work as a music educator has been recognized nationally. My friend, you were the poster boy in 2000. Too bad, kiddo. But what really was revealing for me was the advice that you gave fellow music educators, because it embodies who you are at the very core of your being. And you said, care about your students as human beings and push them towards excellence. They want it. That so resonates with me. And the mantra that my dear late mentor, Helen Kemp, shared with me so many years ago, body, mind, spirit, voice. It takes the whole person to sing and rejoice. Lynn, at your core, you are a servant spirit. You could have had the most elite chamber choir. You chose to bring as many young people to the choral movement as possible and give them the joy of making music together. You have used music as a means to nurture human souls, whether in your high school choirs or your wonderful church choir. The music has not been the end result. It's how music can transform the lives of those who make the music and those who hear it. And the work you've done all these years of is testimony to that. So Lynn, enough about your professional accomplishments. I want to talk to you as your friend. I first met you in the summer of 1991. I'd finished my first year at Salem College as conductor of the Salem Choir, and it had been determined that whoever was appointed in that position in 1990 would serve as conductor of the Minnesota All-State SAT or mixed choir. And I was doing that. You were the manager for the Minnesota All-State Men's Chorus. You had come to pick up the clinician, and in the car was, I think, about a 5 or 6 year old little Luke Warren. But I had been working in New Jersey earlier in that summer, and I flew back and were kind enough to drive me back down to Northfield at St. Olaf, where the All-State was being held that summer. And that started our friendship. I remember asking near the end of the time, would you ever have time for dinner? I was just looking for friends who didn't want to be my friend because I was a conducting Salem choir. They just wanted to be my friend because I was Anton. And you were that friend. And you have been that friend these last 27 years for me. I am overjoyed that Luke, dear Luke, will be your successor at Hastings High School to appreciate and build on this wonderful foundation and legacy that you will leave us. We have enjoyed many wonderful times together. We've had maybe partied a little bit too hardy at certain ACA conferences, or when you have been kind enough to serve as a collaborative pianist for choral festivals I've done in New York City at Carnegie Hall. But I value those times of being able to not only share music, with meals, walks in Central Park, going to great shows, and just sitting and talking. You and Kathy have given me much as friends. The delight of teaching Luke as a student at St. Olaf. I'm overjoyed that he met his wonderful wife Sarah at St. Olaf, that I had the immense honor of conducting them both in the St. Olaf choir. And even though I haven't had your younger son Matt as a student, he's a great credit to the Warren family. He's making his own path, even in his choral alter ego as Dr. Scott Sharp. Those of you listening to my words today, you need to ask Matt about his alter ego. He's quite a brilliant choral musician. Thank you, Dr. Scott Sharp. And finally, Kathy. Kathy Warren, you've been an incredible support for this man. I thank you on behalf of choral directors far and wide for the sacrifice that you have made in your own life so that Lynn could be with us to serve this organization of choral directors and ACDA, to serve the students in the wider Hastings community. And thank you for the hospitality you and Lynn have shown me. Even though you always say every time I come for a summer swim, I bring the rain with me. Those afternoons are sometimes some of the most wonderfully relaxing times I get in the summer. So thank you so very much for that, Kat. My friend, I need to wrap this up. Lynn, you have been a loving, loyal, and faithful friend these past 26 years. I am grateful for that friendship. It has been a true blessing in my life. And I'm a better man because you are in my life. I wish you showers of blessings in this new chapter that you are about to embark upon. I hope you will continue to make music, I know, with your church choir, and you will find other ways to serve the choral art. But more importantly, I hope that you take time for yourself. Take more time for your family, for your friends, come over for some more meals, and most importantly, take time for yourself to relax and enjoy life. You've worked so hard. You're doing so much to so many. And I thank you for that. Again, I wish I could be there to give you a big hug, but I send you lots of love and all best wishes. Dear, dear man, thanks so much.
One fantastic words, obviously a very special friendship. Two things. One, I would love to see the Mr. Warren that parties a little too much at the... Let's have a talk later, I want to hear those stories. And then secondly, the only thing that I would maybe disagree with Anton on is that obviously the best select choir was class of '99. Right? Yeah? Okay. Move on? A highlight in Lynn's career for students, parents, and the community was developing the show choir program. Initially known as swing choir, Lynn directed the 11th Street Singers. This evolved into the award-winning competitive show choir Riverside Company. I would like to introduce Jerry Baum, president of the Hastings Show Choir Board.
Hello, I'm honored to be here to recognize Lynn today. And the board has put together a brief video tribute that looks back on the career Lynn shared with us here at Hastings High School. The video is set to the music of the 2008 Select Choir performance of the Martina McBride song, Anyway. We hope you enjoy it. Now don't panic if you don't hear sound right away. That's intentional. arrangement from a colleague from Wheaton Warrenville, I believe. He saw it at a show choir competition, it was their ballad, and he figured he had to use it. So he brought it back to Hastings and made it great. Joining me on stage is the Hastings Show Choir Board. The board is a quiet group that many people don't even know exists, and we intentionally work that way. But tonight, or this afternoon, we had to come forward to honor Lynn. Joining me on stage is Steve Lund, our treasurer, Kathy O'Connell, our secretary, Angela Brook, our Swinging on the River chair, Deanna Warner, not with us and not able to join, but wanted to send our well wishes, John Mose, our vice president, and Lisa Schrebel. In the song we just heard, there's a phrase that goes, "You can chase a dream that seems so out of reach, and you know it might not ever come your way. Dream it anyway." Lynn inspired students to dream, to reach for what seemed impossible, and whether they achieved it or not, it was the journey and the effort that was the reward. Lynn rewarded his students with love, adoration, and fun. Lots and lots of fun. And the students repaid him with their efforts, love, and who can forget the chants of Warren, Warren, Warren. The Warrens are a musical family. Lynn and Kathy together have provided so much to the Hastings music community. The Hastings Show Choir Board believes now is the time to recognize both their contributions. The Hastings Show Choir Board is proud to announce the creation of the Lynn and Kathy Warren Music Scholarship. The board has committed to providing funding for 10 years of scholarships for students who choose to pursue the musical arts and technology education. The first scholarship will be presented next May and will be part of the Hastings High School scholarship application process. We are honored to provide the seed money to kick off this scholarship and hope that others will see fit to donate to the scholarship so that it can continue for a long time to come thereafter. Lynn, Kathy, thank you so much.
Next, it is my honor to introduce to you City Council Member Lori Brox, who has a special proclamation. Lori and Lynn, would you please join me on stage?
Hello, I am here as a member of the Hastings City Council representing the City of Hastings, and also I am one of Lynn's former students from a class of 1997. Any 1997ers in the house? Sad. Do well. I'm here to do two things. The first one is to talk about Warren Wednesday, which came along after my tenure at Hastings High School, as you might imagine. In recent years, with the increasing popularity of social media, students have been mischievously and discreetly taking pictures of Mr. Warren at his best and posting them, and on Wednesdays, now known as Warren Wednesdays. Some of the examples are up here on the screen. To read a proclamation proclaiming Lynn Warren Day, but before I do, I just want to say a couple of things to Mr. Warren. First of all, I just want you to know I turned out okay. It was a little questionable in high school, but I turned out okay. And the main thing that I wanted to share, I don't want to repeat a lot of what has already been said, but that my most valuable lesson from Mr. Warren was the value of hard work. And I think a lot of students, myself included in high school, want to skate by on their natural talent. And they don't want to work hard. I was one of those students, but I think that Mr. Warren taught me was it is more important to work hard than to have natural talent. And I think if I would have learned that lesson a little earlier, it would have been better. But nonetheless, I am grateful for being a part of the Hastings Music Program. I also want to say that the city of Hastings, I feel, has embraced and has a burgeoning arts culture that we celebrate. And I think a lot of that has to do with the love for arts that this Hastings High School and the staff here and Mr. Warren have instilled in the students. It's a value in our community that we appreciate and celebrate the arts, and that's not the case everywhere. I don't think every community has that. So I just want to say, I want to congratulate Mr. Warren. I think that he had a lot to do with that, along with a lot of other people in the community. But a lot of students that graduated from Hastings High School, like I did, that value for arts is always in my heart. And you know, I said I turned out okay. I'm not in the arts as a profession. I do law and politics, so maybe I didn't turn out okay. But I just want to say thank you to Mr. Warren for that. I want to thank you for instilling the value of hard work. And on behalf of the City of Hastings, I have a Warren Wednesday proclamation. So I'm going to read that here and then hand Mr. Warren a copy of the proclamation. Whereas Lynn Warren has taught vocal music at Hastings High School for 33 years, and whereas Lynn Warren received a Bachelor of Music degree from Hastings College and a Master of Arts degree in Music from the University of Wisconsin at Eau Claire, and whereas Lynn Warren has received many awards during his career, including Outstanding Young Choral Director, Teacher of the Year, Employee of the Year, Minnesota Choral Director of the Year, and whereas Lynn Warren's choirs have been selected to appear at the Minnesota Music Educators Association Convention, the American Choral Directors Association of Minnesota Convention, the Divisional Music Educators National Conference, the Dorian Festival and Choral Arts Finale, and whereas Lynn Warren's popularity among students have led to Warren Wednesday, and whereas Lynn Warren has enriched the life of countless students in the Hastings community through his passion for music, and now therefore be it resolved, I, Lori Brox, Acting Mayor of the City of Hastings, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, May 24th, 2017, as Lynn Warren Day